Hello and welcome to the show. A little bit of a journey for me later on. It's actually the morning for me as I'm sitting here creating this minuscule what would you call it? Trans global television production for peanuts, basically. Oh yes. You don't think I have a very large budget for this large programme. It's marginally smaller than the budget they have for the X Factor here in the UK, or indeed American Idol. I mean, just a little bit less on this programme I spend on this than they do on those shows, eh? But I've got a little bit of a trip later on. I'm going to see my friend Jason, who lives in Brighton, and we are going out to a carvery this afternoon, which I'm very much looking forward to. As you know, I go out to one a week now, probably back down to the Saltdean Tavern I told you about a few weeks ago. Cheap dinners and lots of it. Big pile of food on the plate, so I'm very much looking forward to that. I did hope kind of Jason would want to come on the programme in person. If you were listening to the show a few weeks ago, you know he sent an email in all about his hip replacement operation. So I'd probably take down the camera with me and, of course, the sound recording device for my radio shows and see if he'll have a little bit of a chat with us on camera, perhaps for the next programme or something like that, all right? Jason's doing quite well. He had a hip replacement operation, as I say, must be about 2 or 3 months ago now, and slowly but surely it's coming along. You cannot rush these things. Anyone who's had a serious operation or something like that will know the time that it can take to heal one inside. Certainly I had a burst appendix. Oof, we're going back about 12 or 13 years ago now, and it took weeks. Now I'm assuming that a hip replacement operation is much, much worse than that. So it's a little bit at a time, in fact. By the way, you know, I've been to the dentist recently. I went there a while ago just for a checkup, and he said I needed a filling. So he got the old drill out and drilled some stuff and then put some stuff in. There you go, that'll be all right. Well, it wasn't. I felt the tooth was then rubbing against my cheek. And when I bite on that particular part of it's only a very small part, which I can avoid by eating the food in a different place, sort of chewing it, pushing it around my mouth. So I went back and he kind of smoothed the side down and redid the filling a little bit. And I don't think it's rubbing against my mouth now, but it's certainly not as it was, if you see what I mean. When I went in, as far as I was concerned, there was nothing wrong. He said I needed a filling. So I had the filling done, and ever since then, and even now, to bite on that part, I wouldn't say it's painful. I would say you're aware of it. Different to pain. No sharp pain shoots up into my head or anything like that. I'm aware of when I bite on this particular tooth. It's like right at the back at the top. So I don't know really. I've been back twice now about this and it's not got any better. He reckons that the tooth has possibly cracked and therefore he needs to do some deep drilling, which I'm not liking the sound of at all, Diz. The point is, it wasn't bad before I went in. Or at least I didn't think it was. There was nothing wrong before I went in. So I don't know, really. I talked to my friend Tom, one of the old boys who goes into the swimming pool, and he reckons that I should leave it for a few weeks and see if it settles down. And I can kind of relate to that. I have had stuff done in my mouth before, and I'm sure you have, where it's not felt right afterwards, but give it a few days or maybe a week or so, and it seems to settle down. So I've got my fingers crossed. A little prayer for me there, boys and girls. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Amen. A little prayer for Chris Reardon's tooth. Okay? You don't mind, do you? Other news of people. Gwen. Gwen is coming along slowly. Unfortunately, she seems to be suffering with all the side effects that they said she would have after the radiotherapy cancer treatment that she had a few weeks ago now. Now, she's told me she's going to see the doctor today to see what else is occurring, so any updates or anything like that. I will, of course, keep you fully informed, all right? So Gwen isn't doing too bad at all, but she has got quite a lot of side effects at the moment to do with the cancer treatment, okay? Talking to people with bone problems and things like that, I've also made a new friend, boys and girls. I don't know what his name is. He goes swimming, and I kind of talk to people who I don't know. Sometimes you do get a funny look, especially if they're standing half naked in a shower. But I do talk to people quite a lot. And this bloke, I've noticed him a couple of times in the swimming pool, but he doesn't swim. He walks up and down slowly. Have you ever walked in a swimming pool? You know you can only do it like at a certain speed. And I says, hello, mate. Have you got something wrong with your leg or something? He said, oh, yeah, I broke my ankle. And it was the doctor who told him to go to the swimming pool every day and walk. And that's all he does for about... He's actually in there, I think, longer than me. So I'm usually in the swimming pool about 35, 40 minutes. I think he must do an hour. And all he does is walk up and down. And apparently that's very, very good for broken bones and ankles. Because a lot of the pressure, once you're in the water, it kind of takes your weight, doesn't it? And I remember years ago, my nan, she went to a hydrotherapy place, where again it was like a small swimming pool, and she basically had to go in this pool and walk around a bit. I can't remember what, she didn't have anything broken. I don't think she did anyway. I'm just trying to think now. I'm sure she didn't have anything broken, but obviously something to do with her, and it does improve your health. Does anyone go swimming to, or does anyone go in a swimming pool to alleviate some sort of condition? Do let us know about that. There's an email address to the show if you want to join in at any time. It's chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. All right, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Now, I was talking to Nikki French on the phone yesterday. Nikki French is a recording artiste. She doesn't just sing songs, she does all sorts of things. She's been in pantomimes. She represented the United Kingdom in one of the Eurovision Song Contests, I think around about 10 years ago now, maybe not as long as that. She's done a bit of radio work, and she's bigger in America, I believe, than she is here in the UK. It's funny how that sometimes happens, isn't it? Or people might be bigger in the UK than they are in America. I wonder who watches or listens to this show. Are more people in the UK or are more people in the States? I have a feeling more people are in the UK, in the States. I certainly get more emails from people who are in the States than are in the UK. Interesting that, isn't it? I wonder why. What is it that fascinates you? What do you like about this programme, I wonder? Do let us know. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Anyway, I was talking to Nikki French and we got onto the subject of the X Factor. Now, the X Factor is a programme here in the UK where you can be a star. Forget about working in pubs and working your way up. You get instant fame if you can sing. I like the show. I like the way it's put together. It's a bit more rowdy this year, I think, than it used to be. Seems to be a lot of bickering going on with the judges. And even the presenter, now what's his name? Dermot O'Leary. He's had a couple of run-ins with the judges now and again. Like from stage to judge's position. I remember Louis Walsh, and he said something to Louis Walsh, who is one of the judges, little Irish bloke, very funny man. I love him to bits, actually. And Louis saying, but you're not a judge, you're the presenter, so present. And it's all very like that. And I don't think, actually, that all the rowing is really happening. I think it's all staged. It just doesn't look completely natural to me. Anyway, so I'm talking to Nikki about this, and it is. The X Factor is all very plastic. And Nikki and I agree. about Sting's remarks. Now, you know Sting, very famous singer, used to be in the band The Police. Wonderful voice, very, very talented man. And Sting's comments were that the thing is with X Factor, the singers that go on there to be stars are not kind of their own person. How can I explain this? They haven't, most of them, some of them have, okay, most of them haven't gone out. That was certainly the ones who are 16 years old haven't done this. And they haven't gone out and worked in pubs and bars and social clubs, as indeed I have. Now, I'm not a singer, okay? What do? I don't know really. I do all sorts of things. I do DJing and karaoke. They're my main paying jobs. But yes, I've worked in little bars and little pubs. I've worked in big clubs. But I've worked through it all before I came and, for example, do this show, right? I haven't always been in my bedroom with a little camera somewhere talking to no one. I've gone out, and I still do. That's my main paying job, is to go into bars and clubs and do DJing and karaoke. These people on the X Factor, a lot of them have never done this. So they've come from being a bedroom singer, or perhaps singing at family parties and things like that, or friends' houses. They've gone from that to straight on a television programme with 12 million people watching them. But what Sting's saying is that they haven't had the time to become their own person. Most of these people, it seems, want to be Mariah Carey or Whitney Houston or Robbie Williams. And you hear them when they're doing the interviews, right? When they're doing the interviews to get on the programme. Why do you want to be on X Factor? And they'll come out with something like, oh, I want to be famous like Shirley Bassey. They want, you see what I mean? They want to be Shirley Bassey. They don't want to be Chris Reardon going out to sing as Chris Reardon. They want to be Shirley Bassey. And we seem to be chucking out a load of singers who, yeah, are different in their own way, but in the same breath are all the same. And I totally agree, and so does Nikki French, with what Sting says there. Don't get me wrong, I like the X Factor, I like the way it looks, but I think it's a TV show. That's what it is now, isn't it? It's a TV show. You might find some celebrities on this show. Indeed, they are all celebrities. Everyone who goes on X Factor becomes a celebrity overnight. But will they be stars? That's the question. I can name some people who have been on there who disappeared. Steve Brookstein. What's that boy's name on the BBC version? The Snedden boy. What happened to him? All these people have kind of disappeared. Gareth Gates. Okay, celebrity. Is he a big star? He does West End and all that. And that's no disrespect to the person. But they're never going to get... I don't think they're going to get to the level as Madonna or Robbie Williams. They're not going to get to that level, are they? They're always going to be sort of around the middle. Mind you, that I'm the same way sort of on the karaoke and DJ world, I think. I'm perhaps around the middle. You've got to be around the middle. If you get to the top, you can go for a big fall. Although I suppose as time moves on, I now do smaller places. No one asks me to do a big club anymore. But that's the way it is. That's because I'm older. And it's horrible when that happens, when you go from being extremely popular not number one, I know, but extremely popular, lots of people say that they know you sort of thing, to the little man back in the corner in a pub. That's what I am. That's what I do now. I'm the little man who sits at the back of the corner of the pub trying to entertain people. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. So Nikki and I were chatting away about this, and yeah, I see exactly what Sting's saying. We are not going to find real stars on this programme because they haven't gone through the system. They've just gone straight onto a big stage in front of millions of people. How can you develop like that? It's almost like becoming 16 and throwing someone in to be director of a company. How could you ever run that company when you haven't gone through everything else to get there? It's just been given to you on a plate. You've got to be, of course, a reasonably good singer to get anywhere on the X Factor. Of course. I don't think anyone's going to win who can't sing, although there is a possibility of that this year, believe me. With the two Irish boys. Because their singing is dreadful. However, they put on a damn good show. Is there anything wrong with that? Just because they can't sing, does that mean they shouldn't win the competition? My vote doesn't go to them. In fact, I don't bother voting. I'm putting it to the three people that are going to... One of these three is going to win this year. Either Ollie, he's the lad who's very sexy and all the girls would fancy him, and so do I. Or it's going to be Daniel, who the papers have crucified and said is this, that and the other, whereas he is not, because Daniel used to come to one of my karaoke nights and he would come and sing, and he's got the most fantastic voice, and he is as nice as pie, and he does not think he's bigger than he really is. He's a nice lad, Daniel. Or the most natural singer of the whole competition, I think, is Joe. Little Joe McEden or something like that. But he's very pure. Do you see what I mean? He's pure. Very, very natural singer. Whatever songs they give him, he seems to be able to do it. He's completely in tune. So I think it's going to be one of those three. It'd be very, very interesting to see who gets voted off in those last ones. But I reckon those three will be the last three in there. Daniel, Joe, and what was the other one? Oh, my memory's playing up today. Daniel, Joe, and what was the first one I said to you? Oh, my God. Oh, Ollie. I think it's going to be one of those three. They can all sing. They can all sing. The two Irish boys, I'm sorry, they just can't sing. They may be in tune, but there's no power behind their voices. They look good on the stage, but does that matter? Does it matter the fact that they can't sing? How many of these big stars that you pay thousands of pounds, well, not thousands, hundreds of pounds to go and see? I don't. I wouldn't pay £500 to go and see Britney Spears mime. You speak to the organisers and probably Britney herself, and they would say to you, yes, but it's a show. It doesn't matter that they're not singing. Well, it blooming well does to me. How many times has Shirley Bassey gone on stage and mimed? I reckon never, unless she had a bad throat or was ill. I bet she's never, ever mimed on television programmes or things like that. And maybe I'm wrong, am I? I doubt it. So your thoughts, please, on the X Factor if you're in the UK. Or indeed, maybe you're outside the UK and you get the X Factor. I don't know. Do let us know. It's chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. You see, it's all very well having all these people on the things like X Factor churning out their celebrities, but they all sound like other people. We want people with their own personalities to come through. I wouldn't want to go somewhere and say, oh yeah, that's Chris Reardon, he sings like Robbie Williams. I wouldn't want that. I would want, that's Chris Reardon, he sings like Chris Reardon. Perhaps I should sing a song today. No, no time. It's the only thing with being here, because we moved studios a while ago. In the Britannia studio, I can't sing you a song, which may be a blessing in disguise. Talking of singing songs, a very, very good night again at Belushi's last night in Hammersmith. I seem to be on a bit of a run at the moment. You often have busy nights and you have quiet nights, but at the moment they're all quite good. And certainly the 3 karaoke nights I do now during a week, do you know, I don't know. I think I actually prefer doing karaoke nights now than I do DJing. I wouldn't like to give up the DJing altogether, I have to say. It's good to keep your finger in many pies anyway. It gives you a bit of variety. Although at this stage I wouldn't mind doing 7 karaoke nights a week, I think that's, you know, you'd get bored of it. Variety is the spice of life, isn't it? And that's what I say about X Factor. You can't have everyone sounding the same. They do all have their own voices and that, yes, I know. Once they've gone through a show like that, I think you become sort of part of something everyone else is part of on that show. Variety is the spice of life. Lots of different voices and different personalities. Can you imagine, right? We all like to look at good-looking people, don't we? Which is probably why you're thinking about watching this show instead of just listening to it. The main website for the show, if you're listening and you want to watch as well, you can do that just by going to unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk, unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Joy, my friend in Acton, thinks I've got very clear skin when I always DVD the programme. I put the programme onto a DVD for Joy and send it through the post. And she thinks I'm very good looking. And she says, you can't do better than perfection, Chris. I mean, I don't know what's wrong with her. I know she's a bit old, but I think her eyesight's going as well now, to be honest. Is it, Joy? To say things like that. She only says it to make me feel better. I think she thinks she's going to get some sort of Christmas present in the post. Well, I'm sorry, Joy. You can compliment me as much as you like, dear, but it's not going to happen. Huh? Variety is the spice of life. Can you imagine going into a pub, right, and, I don't know, there'd be a good-looking girl or a good-looking boy in there, but everyone looked the same? How boring would that be? Don't understand these people that go into McDonald's morning, noon and night, day in, day out. You can't seriously be enjoying that all the time. Variety is the key, I think. You know, lots of different things. Eh? Let us know what you think about any of that. Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Got to say thanks very much, actually, to Jason Allen. His website is jason-allen, ALLEN.co.uk, who made me a new computer program for my karaoke nights this week. If you ever want to join me at one of my karaoke nights, I do 3. 2 in London on a Monday night, 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. at Belushi's Bar in Hammersmith. Okay? Another one I do, that's in West London. I do Wednesday nights between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. That's at Belushi's Bar in Borough High Street, just before London Bridge. Okay? That's the Wednesday night one. And Friday, I'm in Birmingham at a place called Route 2 in Hurst Street, H-U-R-S-T. And that's on Friday nights between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. Don't expect it to be serious, okay? Because we like to make it as fun as possible. Come and sing me a song. And Jason recently made me a little computer program so that now... I can't do this in the Hammersmith one because they don't have the facilities. But in the other 2 venues, on the screen, because we have TV screens all around the venue, on the screen that people can see, right, it's got a little box there now, and it tells people when they're coming up next to sing their songs. It's all very clever, and Jason Allen wrote that for me. Once again, his website, jason-allen.co.uk, and he's written a few little bits and pieces for me. So if you want a bespoke kind of computer program written for you, it might be worth giving him an email and see what he can come up with. Basically, you tell him what you need it for and what you want it to do, and he'll work on it. And he's good. He won't charge you the earth either. He only charged me £30 to write that program. I was very pleased with it. It's so simple. Basically, I type on the screen, and the same thing comes up on screen number 2. Because while I'm doing the karaoke, I've got multi-screens. Like, there's a screen in front of me what's got kind of all the stuff that lines up the karaoke tracks and things like that. And there's another screen which basically just shows the words to the tune. And on the other screen and my screen, there's now a little box where I line up, or it says who are the next people coming up to sing. And also next to people's names, I put a little number indicating to them how many times they've sung. And the reason I've done that is because sometimes you can have someone singing 3 times, right? And then they've got a 4th request in. And if they wait a long time, they start complaining, oh, I've been waiting ages. But there are other people who haven't sung. And while I'm doing the karaoke, I am really very, very fair to everyone. I never push anyone to the front. You know, if you've sung twice or 3 times and that poor girl or boy hasn't sung at all, then I want to put her on before you again. And you can keep moving down the list simply because you've done 3 and someone else has done none. And it's hard to explain that to people. So once you've got it up there and it says, well, you've sung 3 times, you've sung once, you haven't sung, and you can see number 3 is down the bottom, right? The one who's sung 3 times is down the bottom of the list. Then they kind of understand and they stop coming up and say, oh, when am I coming on? That's the hardest bit about doing a karaoke, keeping control of people. So there we are. Do pop down to one of my karaoke nights, okay? Now, we'll do a couple of emails here. First of all, from Ian and Sylvia. Hello, Ian and Sylvia. Who says, you mentioned on your show that you're flying business class on the plane, but then looking for a cheap hotel in Sydney. Why not treat yourself right to a good hotel? And that's from Ian. Thank you, Ian. Don't say, I think you're in the States somewhere, are you? Don't say what part of the States you're in. Right. Well, Ian, a posh hotel doesn't really do it for me. I've no intention of spending a lot of time in a posh hotel. Why do I fly business class to Australia? Let me tell you, I do like to joke. Oh, what's the time? Oh my God, I can't believe how quickly that time's gone today. Flying business class to Australia, it is not really a class thing for me. I know we have a bit of a laugh on it and oh yes, business class and all that business. It's nothing to do with class. I certainly don't feel that I'm, I say feel, I certainly know that I'm no better than anyone else, okay? The only reason I fly is because it's such a damn pig-long journey, and I've flown to Florida before for 8 hours, and your knees are, oh, it's dreadful. It's dreadful. It's just a comfort thing. The fact that I can lie flat down on the bed and go to sleep. Or at least close my eyes and drift off now and again. I probably don't sleep really that well. Which you can't do in the back of a plane. And that's the only reason why. If the economy seats could go flat, I would be there. Okay, but they don't, unfortunately. So that's the only reason. So I don't really need a good hotel. I'm sort of quite happy to do it like that. The only reason I fly like that is because of the comfort level. So thanks for that, Ian and Sylvia. And time for me to go. As always, boys and girls, thanks for listening and watching the show. Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. It'd be lovely to hear from you. Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. See you on the next show. I'm going down to Brighton now for my dinner. Ta-da.